Welcome back to Uninformed Movie Reviews. Happy 4th of July, y'all. Coming at you. And to celebrate this great nation, last week we did a movie about commies invading this nation. All right. Sorry. Definitely could have put that in post and would have sounded much better, but you do you, Danny. And this week we have, I guess, a reminder of one of the greatest things about this nation, working until you die.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't really pick up on this theme when we suggested this, but it's very appropriate for America. Mm-hmm. It's what we do.
We're doing a movie quest. Which movie quest, you ask? Well, friends, our quest to find our favorite movie of all time, at least up until this point. Obviously, there are movies that haven't come out that we haven't seen, and movies that have come out that we just haven't gotten around to seeing.
Yes. Yet. Yeah, I think that's more or less it.
I think it was pretty close.
Masterfully done.
Yeah. Workplace movies, everybody. That's what you got. On this 4th of July weekend, if you're listening to this on the date of release, we're just going to remind you of all the things you hate about work.
Perfect.
I'm super thankful for this category, everyone. Once we announced it, I was really, really stoked to get this going because this is definitely one of my favorite. Is it even a genre?
I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty narrow category here.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of them can fall into comedy. Some of them can fall into like horror, action.
I was going to
guess.
say it casts kind of a wide net, even though it's like a little narrow.
Well, it depends on your classification of what is
criteria.
A workplace movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
you know
what
what?
is our
I'm glad
criteria?
you brought that up because we had this conversation while we were trying to make our picks, and I think we're trying to focus movies on more where the workplace itself is a bit of a character, and it's less about like people in a certain occupation, but like that workplace and the interaction of the coworkers in either a very certain situation or just like a day in the life.
Perhaps like a movie that gives you insight on that occupation that you wouldn't know before or you would know before and you're familiar with.
That's what adds the extra laughs.
Exactly.
If it's your occupation.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's the deal with X?
TPS reports.
Oh, TPS reports. I'm sure that'll make an appearance somewhere here today.
I was going to say, so who brought that one you said not to bring in?
I know, right? Well, who are we kicking it off with, Frank?
Why don't we go with you, David?
With me?
Mr. Questions.
With me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have my movies concealed in this knapsack here.
I like that.
Thank you.
Prop daddy.
My runner-up, everyone.
Hey.
Here it is.
Glad I didn't choose that.
It's The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. Yeah.
This is the first one.
And you know what? Didn't even pop up on my radar when I was trying to think about workplace movies, but I mean, that's it.
That is a successful choice because it is a workplace movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we see The Office a ton. We see the interactions between the people. I guess the only thing that kind of changes the dynamic here is he's the boss. You know what I mean?
Who's the boss?
Well, in this case, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not who you would think. But.
And special circumstance because the workplace is actually in the title on yours. So,
ooh, that's a good point.
Plus points.
And also mine's real. Dang, right? Does that count for something? I hope so. So Wolf of Wall Street. Well, it's a Martin Scorsese film. I feel like everyone knows what movie this is. I don't think we have a lot of Martin Scorsese on this channel.
No.
Not that often.
We recently mentioned a Scorsese who had no relation to Martin at all.
Yeah.
But
I don't think his movies show up very often on here. But love Scorsese. I've seen most of them. I'm trying to finish that off. That's a daunting task. There's a lot of Scorsese movies. Some you can't really even find.
Some stinkers too.
Well, the worst one, I think, and I've seen maybe 20 out of his like 28 films or however many it is. Color of Money. And it's just because I hate Tom Cruise.
It's really hard to watch a Tom Cruise movie, man.
And he's really playing it up in that movie. It's unbearable. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about The Wolf. I guess that could be a workplace movie is like a hustler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's stop talking about what's unbearable and get into the bear and bull of it.
Yes.
Whoa.
Boom. Transition.
Whoa.
So Wolf of Wall Street, well, you know, it's like we were saying before, it's a true story. It follows a Jordan Belfort who is a broker on Wall Street. He's like a cool 80s guy from Futurama.
So cool.
He is that guy.
Yeah, he is that guy. And Yeah, the movie follows just like a lot of Scorsese movies. It's like his rise in criminal activity and then his eventual downfall. There's a ton of those movies.
What is it that he says? Awesome. Awesome to the max.
Yeah, exactly. That's Futurama, for those of you who don't know. Well, Frank, why don't you hit us with these numbers before we talk about Wolf of Wall Street anymore?
All right, numbers wise, Wolf of Wall Wolf of Wall Street.
Wiffle waffle.
Wiffle Waffle scored an 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a 79% on old Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
This movie was made
That's
on
a whole, like 11% less than 1997's Face Off.
It is a whole 11% less than 19.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, well, I don't know. I'm super down to watch both of those movies right now, actually, now that I think about it.
You know, one thing to point out about this great face-off comparison that we've been going on is that, like, older movies are different. You know what I mean?
Older movies are different.
Well, I mean, like, Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around when Face Off is out.
True.
So the rating is going to be different as opposed to, you know, a movie coming out being discussed. Some people, you know, getting into the internet.
You almost have that, like, shoe-in nostalgia factor built into it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And people aren't going to be as upset and writing a terrible review. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, Face Off's been around for...
Rotten Tomatoes was established in August of 1998. Just a fun fact.
Oh,
that is a fun fact.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I agree. Anyway, sorry, Frank. What were we saying?
I'm going to have to, like, auto-harmonize our voices for that just to make it a little bit more spicy. It'll be fun.
Fact.
Make it super digital. Will sound like a Cher song.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Made on a big old budget of $100 million estimated. A whole lot of wings. Had an opening weekend of $18,361,578, which is shocking because this cast is phenomenal.
Yeah, massive.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie. Like, I was dying to see this movie.
Well, you know, this is Margot Robbie's 9th credit.
Wow.
Interesting.
Ever. And not probably the first movie that you guys would be.
That's way less than Leonardo DiCaprio has at this point.
Yeah. Leonardo had 9 that year.
Yeah. So not a great opening weekend, but they would go ahead and turn it around and make a worldwide gross of $392,694.
That's cheddar.
Yeah, I just feel like Scorsese movies aren't the... Well, I mean, to a certain audience, like I want to go out and watch his movie immediately.
But they're not exactly summer blockbusters.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, you know, they're going to have this giant opening weekend. But
You're
I
not
think
reeling in the Fast and Furious crowd for the most part.
Exactly. I think word of mouth really spread on this movie, though. Even people who maybe weren't interested in the premise, like real estate broker, like, well, I was like, no, just go watch it. It's incredible.
Yeah, seeing the trailer, like, man, this might not be the movie for me. But then your homie, like, on Monday is just like, dude, in the first 5 minutes, he's like blowing cocaine into a hooker's booty hole.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, like, oh man, I need to see this movie.
Yeah. It's all factual.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about cast, though, Frank is talking about Margot Robbie over here. So yeah, this is like an early appearance for Margot Robbie, and kind of, I think, launches her into what is now a very recognizable name.
Things are going to happen when you show your boobies. That's just the reality of the reality we live in.
Wow, I'm pretty sure that's what Weinstein said. Like, we got Jonah.
I was quoting Weinstein.
America.
We have Jonah Hill, who I love these like kind of transformative roles that Jonah Hill's taken on. He was just like the funny fat guy. He was that squad's funny fat guy. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, no, he's the famous one out of that group.
No, he's the famous funny fat guy in this movie.
Well, that's true. And in this one, yeah, he is fat in this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's another funny fat guy, way less famous, but near to my heart, Henry Zebrowski.
Yeah, that's right.
His first film credit, I believe. Major film credit.
That's got to be insane. Just like working with Scorsese for your first major film credit. Well, I guess Margot Robbie too. But Jonah Hill is like the most famous one out of that whole group now, like by far.
I also love his veneers in this movie.
Oh God, the fake teeth, they're so good. They're a character themselves.
Yeah, his character is hilarious in this movie. I love his first appearance when he's like, show me your check stub, and like, I'll quit my job right now and work for you. But the way that he says it too, it's like, how do you even know this guy wants you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even leave an option. He's just saying, no, I'm going to be your lapdog. Like, I'm going to follow you.
That's the kind of employee you need, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, down.
And that's what Belfort wants too. He wants those kind of people. Matthew McConaughey, I think it's kind of crazy that you have such an iconic scene.
Future governor of Texas.
Yeah, future governor of Texas. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey, man, it's crazy because like he's the all right guy, and then this late in his career, to make something that, like, if people are like, okay, give me a Matthew McConaughey impression, if they don't go with that, they're going to go with his Wolf of Wall Street, which he's only...
Or they could just like drop a bunch of weight and look and go Dallas Buyers Club.
Hey, that's another direction to
He's
go.
still kind of thin in this movie, like from Dallas
does
Buyers
look
Club,
like
I
it.
think. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? He never like gained his body weight back, which, you know, you do you, Matthew McConaughey.
He needs to get on that Mac diet. Choose whatever weight you want.
He's got that Lincoln money, baby.
Is he in Lincoln? Oh, the Lincoln
commercials,
Lawyer.
yeah.
Commercials.
Oh,
I was driving a Lincoln before it was cool.
is he in some movie called like The Lincoln Lawyer or something?
No,
like that?
it's Free State of Jones. Is the one? Is that the one you're thinking
No,
about?
there's a movie that he has that has lawyer in the name.
Hold on, my fast frolicking fingers will be on this.
This is a great role for Matthew McConaughey, and also in the sense that it's so minimal. Like, you just get a taste of him. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like Jordan Belfort's, you know, idol. He meets this guy and he's like, I want to beat this man.
Lincoln Lawyer.
Lincoln Lawyer. Okay, I thought
David.
so. Hey, what kind of... There's a couple other people in here. We got like Kyle Chandler. We got Rob Reiner.
Love me some Kyle Chandler.
John Favreau shows up in this thing. Like a great supporting cast. I gotta shout out John Bernthal again. We just saw him in Fury, and he just plays another like greasy, angry guy in this movie.
Oh yeah.
He's just incredible. His name's Brad. He's got a powerful mustache too. I love that guy. I hope he's in more movies. I'm glad that like he's working with Scorsese. That's pretty incredible. Of course, then you also got Leonardo DiCaprio, which I'd really like to do a Martin Scorsese ranking episode. Whew. I mean, obviously we couldn't do his whole filmography. It'd be ridiculous.
Would it have to be like the bangers?
Well, I was thinking we could do 2 episodes. One that's the De Niro Scorsese ranking and one that's the DiCaprio Scorsese ranking.
I like it.
And then we decide at the end, because DiCaprio Scorsese's like this movie, Gangs of New York.
Oh yeah.
Aviator, The Departed. Dude, just some all around.
I love me some
strong
Gangs
movies.
of New York. Can you get some Daniel Day-Lewis in that too?
Yeah.
I'm falling off track.
Anyway, Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, I feel like if you're into crime movies, you've probably seen this movie already. I just think that this is such a strong movie from Martin Scorsese. It's like it's like Goodfellas tier. It's in that same area.
It's got that snappy pace.
Oh yeah,
for the entire movie.
You're interested the entire time, and it's a long movie too. But you know, it pulls you in. You want to watch the whole thing. You can't wait to see how it all blows up in his face, and it definitely does. But also, in like a voyeuristic sense, you know, it's like living a life that you'll never have. Like most people aren't going to be some millionaire Wall Street broker.
That and Quaaludes don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I almost feel like this movie is kind of like a spiritual sequel to like Catch Me If You Can. But it's also like a reimagining of
That's
Catch
funny.
Me If
I
You
was
Can.
just thinking the same thing about Great Gatsby.
Interesting.
Like the kid from Catch Me If You Can, like eventually becomes the Great Gatsby. You know what I mean?
And in an alternate DiCaprio universe, he actually becomes Jordan Belfort.
Yeah, and Titanic's in there somewhere too. they're all connected. But yeah, that's my runner-up. Great movie. I think. Well, I won't say any more about my next pick.
I mean, great pick, David. It's
Yeah.
some hot fire. I'm
What can I
really
say?
excited to
You're
see
really
what you
coming
got
out
for
the
number
gate.
one.
What can I say? What can I say?
So where are we going next?
You.
Oh, to me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Danny Two Hands with
real
the 2
excited
spot.
about my runner-up because I got it right this time and I know exactly what it is. It's the second place. So, runner-up is 2009's Observe and Report.
Ooh. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know, I've nener seen this movie. It just seemed
Really?
so stupid when it came out.
It's grimy, but it's hilarious.
And then also, this is like a doppelganger with Paul Blart Mall.
actually, you're right. Yeah.
Paul Blart Mall.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, you are correct.
Movies that like kind of circumstantially came out at the same time.
Yeah.
These were actually filmed at the same time.
How weird.
And actually have something about that. But before we get into it, for those who don't know, Observe and Report, 2009, written and directed by Jody Hill, who I don't know if that rings any bells, but it's he's one of the cast members from HBO's Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, dude.
He's the guitarist.
What a fantastic series Righteous Gemstones is.
You should watch that show. That show is hilarious, dude. But he's Levi, the dumb guitarist in there.
Okay, yeah.
And he's also the co-creator of Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals and Righteous Gemstones.
Dude.
Fire, fire, fire.
Yeah, those are all great series.
So he's really good with that like irreverent black comedy. Just like this movie is absurd. This movie is like totally absurd. Little synopsis about it. starring Seth Rogen, Michael Pena, your cousin, Anna Faris, Ray Liotta,
What a good bad guy.
Jesse Plemons, and Danny McBride, Aziz Ansari, and Patton Oswalt. As head of security at the Forest Ridge Mall, Ronnie Bonhart, played by Seth Rogen, takes his job very seriously, enforcing mall rules with an iron fist. When a flasher strikes Forest Ridge, Ronnie sees a chance to display his unappreciated cop skills and bring the felon to justice, and at the same time impress his dream girl, Anna Faris, and win a coveted spot at the police academy.
Oh, okay.
It's like the story of what's the name of the idiot that shot Trayvon Martin in Florida?
Oh, I don't know.
The like wannabe cop who's like,
Yeah,
whatever.
like a
that guy's
rent-a-cop.
name. I'm so glad I forgot his name and I remember Trayvon
Yeah.
Martin. I'm so proud of myself right now. But it's essentially like that guy. You know what I mean?
Wow.
He thinks
quite the
you can tell
comparison.
he thinks he was meant for a bigger purpose, but he is a putz.
Yeah,
exactly. Why don't you hit us with the stats before I go back into it?
All right. So Observe and Report scored a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb and a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 41% less than 1997's Face Off, might I add. Made on a budget of $18 million, had an opening weekend of $11,017,334 USD, of course. I'm going to go to earn a worldwide gross of $26,973,554.
That's amazing.
Yeah, nice little chunk.
good little
not
return.
Not a huge profit.
No.
Not even a huge profit.
I definitely remember seeing trailers for this.
hang on. I think huge is better than huge.
You just
No, huge is worse because you're Donald Trump and you're lying about how much you made.
Oh, that's true. You could also be Bernie Sanders. Huge.
True.
it's true. It's a
And he would not be lying about it at all.
this movie. I remember us like seeing the trailer for this movie and just being super down to go see it.
Oh, dude,
and
yes.
no one heard about this movie, but this is like totally was our humor at the time, like just to see in person.
That's hilarious. But I don't think we would have gotten along in high school. Like, I would have been like, "This is really stupid. I'm
This
not down
movie-
to watch this movie."
Has some meaningfulness behind it for sure. Like besides, it's almost like a black comedy version of like Taxi Driver. To be honest,
Interesting.
with like Ronnie
Yeah, because
being like the Travis Bickle character.
I think Joker is the black comedy version of Taxi. That's a funny movie, right? Isn't it supposed to be a comedic movie?
Didn't you laugh?
I got a little confused towards the end.
there's just like nervous laughter.
I mean, it pretty much it for me it like perfectly captures what a person like, you know, a rent-a-cop in that situation with like severe mental health issues.
Oh yeah, he's got some problems. He definitely needed some therapy.
Would be like, but it also like encapsulates, it's got that like Mike Judge kind of feeling of just like a small contained podunk town where like you can just imagine everything going wrong, and like the biggest goals that anyone has are like on such a mundane level, you know what I mean? And that's like, it's kind of a grounded comedy in that way, but it's also like absurd in some ways because it goes beyond believability in a lot of spots.
Oh yeah, dude. And you know what actually sticks out in my memory a lot about this movie? The like costuming. Like everybody's dressed like perfectly for their roles. Like especially Seth Rogen. Like he's got one scene where he's wearing that horrible sweater and I
just
think it might be
wears that-
turtleneck and he's
yeah.
got like that gold chain. Man, he looks terrible. It's fantastic.
And for the rest of the movie, he wears like, when he's not in his like mall cop uniform, he's wearing just like some cereal stained gray sweatpants from Walmart or something like
Oh, yeah,
that.
dude.
And he lives at home with his mom.
His
and
characters definitely has like a smell to it.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's grimy and it's like, it's really gross, but it's a hilarious movie at the same time. And Ray Liotta is awesome in this movie, dude.
I mean, Michael Pena too. He goes like way off of his like his normal thing. You know what I mean?
He's in a character in
Wow.
this. Yeah,
Oh,
he-
wow. 100%.
I'll let Mike know you guys enjoyed it.
yeah. Let him know the
Let
next
him
time
know.
you talk to him at your make believe family reunions.
Well, I'll just talk to him in the actual family reunion.
I'd say that I've watched this movie for this and it's aged well, but there's obviously like a super awk moment that
The
is
sexual assault moment. is that what you're talking about?
It's very
That is what he is talking about.
awk and weird. It's very hard to not acknowledge, but it's still funny besides that part.
Interesting. Yeah, this is when I'm going to edit together like you being like, no, Pretty in Pink can't be rated, or 16 Candles can't be rated higher. There's too many problematic moments, and then I'll put it side by side with this.
With this, is this rated R? I don't know.
Observe and report. Actually, let me
No, I
check
doubt it is.
IMDb real quick.
Movies like this, you gotta be PG-13 or they'll never make any money.
This might be rated R. Actually,
I mean, they didn't make a ton of money. It is rated R.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they should have hit the maybe they should have got rid of the sexual assault and try to hit the PG-13.
well, of course it's rated R. I mean, there's like one of the sequences of the Flasher where you see everything.
Yes, that is true.
That ending sequence.
It doesn't go as hard as Bruno, but it's there.
Yeah.
Hey,
And in Glory.
I've never seen Bruno either.
There's definitely a
That's
Glory.
you can pass on that one, man. That movie was too much for me.
That's the only thing I've ever heard about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that. This was actually filmed on location at an abandoned shopping mall in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that I actually used to go to when I used to visit my aunt in Albuquerque, called the Windrock Shopping Center. And that's every time I watch this movie, I'm just like, this is hilarious because this is exactly how I remember this place being.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
If you're
right?
not familiar with Albuquerque, it's the kind of place when you're leaving, you go, damn, why do we keep coming back here, man?
Well, I'm sure these people have seen Breaking Bad, right?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There's just as many methods.
I
as you would
only
think.
go to
Yeah.
Albuquerque for shows
Yeah.
and for Trader Joe's.
So things
And to
that
rhyme.
rhyme in woes.
And for green chili.
Oh, you know what? Frontiers is pretty bomb,
Frontier is pretty nice. I like that. So to address the Paul Blart thing, they were being filmed like and released it closely to Paul Blart, but ironically, like Rogan says, there was no like animosity because he knows like Kevin James and he knows
Different
the
fan,
Happy Madison.
different fan base too. You know what I mean?
Totally different. And he's just like, they would send pictures of like the costumes and like the production set design to like make sure they weren't stepping on each other's toes and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Oh, that's nice. That's very
It's really
cordial.
weird. But he's just like to quote him, he's just like, in the end, they ended up being totally different movies, and they are totally different movies.
Interesting.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Kevin James wears like a terrible sweater in that movie too. I think it's like a gag, which is funny.
I haven't seen that movie
I haven't
either.
seen Paul Blart. Oh,
God, I saw it in theaters with my pa. Dad, I love you, but
That's right. I remember you told me that.
oh boy.
So sorry about that, man.
So this one's not one I can watch like multiple times in a year, but probably once a year I'll pop it on and just have a good laugh.
It's been a while for me. I think I'm due for a rewatch.
At the time of this recording, it is currently on HBO Max.
I
So
thought you were going to say it was 11:12 p.m.
it is 11:12 p.m.
Yeah, it's a late night one.
Mountain time. Good old mountain time.
That's gonna be my runner-up, fellas.
Great runner-up. My runner-up also features Anna Faris, and it also has some not so kosher stuff going on. I've got 2005
Yes.
Waiting.
Yes.
Dot, dot, dot.
I love this movie.
Now, I will present the caveat that this might not be the cream of the crop. It is not like going to get in the Criterion Collection at any point. This is
Good.
one of my favorite movies of all time in the workplace category because I feel like it just hits so many notes that not just work for the restaurant industry that rings so true, but really like most jobs, like any like hospitality, service, like even retail. There's a lot of things like I notice. What a great time. I'm going to kick us off with the numbers off the top here, scoring a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb and a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes with its 94-minute runtime. It was made on a budget of $3 million, had an opening weekend of $6,021,106 and a worldwide gross of $18,637,690.
not a huge return, but
Not a huge return, but they made some money.
it's a pretty famous movie. Like I feel like anyone our age has seen that movie for sure.
Dude, and this movie came out when we were like 14. I feel like we were the perfect target audience for this when it came
Going
out.
into the workforce.
Yeah, for reals. Also, fun fact, this movie came out the same year Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris worked together on Just Friends. They were both released
love that
2005.
movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's got to be really close.
Yeah, it is very close. And they play ex-lovers in both movies, which is kind of fun.
That is a gem.
Yeah, it is a gem. So Ryan Reynolds plays Monty, a quick-witted underachiever devoid of ethics or ambition. He is alongside channel sweetheart Justin Long as Dean, the slightly ambitious underachiever and best friend of Monty. I don't name like all the cast members at all. I'll name them as I'm coming through. I feel like I'm gonna spoil stuff because it's not like there's any huge twists, and this movie's been out since 2005. So all these people work together at a restaurant named Shenanigans. It is like a very much like a corporate joint. Everybody hates their job for their own reasons. It's fantastic. A couple other standouts on the cast. We have the fantastic
Dane Cook.
No. I didn't even have him in my notes. It's so funny. I always forget he's in the movie until he pops up, and I'm like, oh yeah,
he's a cook too, right?
He is a cook.
Yeah.
That's Dane Cook, the cook.
Isn't he the one that hawks the loogie?
I think he does
sure.
hawk a loogie.
Yeah.
Somebody throws some pubes and some.
It's hard.
some
It's hard to
gravy.
tell because
That's
it sounds like when he talks. It's the same kind of noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh.
We have the ever fantastic David Koechner as Dan, the like perfect terrible GM. This guy like loves throwing his weight around with a little bit of power.
Talk about Packard.
Yeah,
Todd
Packard. Todd Packard.
Yeah, you know what?
Pac-Man.
His last name is pronounced Keckner, which you would never guess.
Keckner.
Yeah.
Really?
David Keckner.
Keckner.
Huh.
I have to know the pronunciations of all Daves. This is the way it goes.
This is also not his first appearance on the channel, a la Thank You for Smoking.
It's true. He's the gun guy, right?
Yeah.
Another big like standout in here is John Francis Daly, who plays Mitch, the new hire. This whole movie takes place in one day, you know what I mean? Well, it kind of kicks off the night before work at the after work party. We go into everybody waking up the next morning, coming into work, and then we end with that day's after work party. Nice little bookend of just getting wrecked with the little bit of tips that you made that day, which, as those who have worked in the restaurant industry, I'm sure you're familiar with. Mitch stands out. It was really funny. Very little dialogue. He's in the majority of the movie. He's constantly getting cut off every time he tries to speak by multitudes of characters. And as a matter of fact, he gets a total of 36 mostly interrupted words in before the big explosion at the end. I like sat there and counted. And I did count the words that like he didn't get to finish. Pretty good gag. He's just like so innocent looking and everything, and everybody's so jaded at this point in the career.
They really are.
And speaking of jaded, we have Alana Ubach as Naomi, the world's angriest waitress that has ever existed. Fun fact, also plays Maria, one of the students in Sister Act 2. Back in the habit, baby.
Dang.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Also another favorite, Andy Milonakis as Nick, the wannabe gangster, alongside Max Kosh, who plays Zigzag in Holes. He's one of the boys in the tent, who plays T-Dog. These guys are terrible. They're horrible at their job, but they're bussers. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I've been a bar back before. Imagine it's very similar. And
I'd say you and Durf were kind of similar.
I could see that.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be rappers. Neither of us had cornrows, but we were definitely up to no good.
Yeah.
like the Hazard Boys, but less cool.
Wow.
And more tables flying.
Yeah, a lot of awesome stuff in here. There's one of my favorite scenes involves this senile. A lot of little chunks of the movies, of course, are like the characters interacting with each other, but you get a lot of little bits of them working with customers, which is great. One of my favorite ones is the senile old man that Ryan Reynolds is serving, and he's having a conversation with them. You can tell he's kind of lost. And he's like, well, how you doing today? He's like, well, with my age, a lot of people, I can leave the house with no pants on or give small children the middle finger, and people just assume that I'm senile. He's like, well, what are the bad parts about old age? He's like, well, sometimes I leave my house with no pants on, or I give small children the middle finger and I don't realize it because I'm senile. Which is just fantastic. There's also a really awesome point where Dean's whole struggle, he finds out one of his friends just got his bachelor's degree. He's starting his career. His mom's going on and on about it, and Dean's like, well, I'm sure his parents are very proud for him. He's also struggling to finish his stint at the local community college at the same time to receive his Associate of the Arts, which his manager also graduated from. He hangs his little diploma on the wall. But they offer him an assistant manager position because somebody just got promoted to GM at another part of the chain. He kind of loses it. He has a bunch of really terrible customers. One specifically, the redneck, who like... He gives him like $1.13 as a tip. He blows up.
Oh, yeah,
And the guy's
yeah.
demanding like coupons and a sundae.
free
and,
sundae.
some t-shirts, some stickers. But Dean's like super pissed at this point. He's chopping up ice in the ice maker with his ice pick. And Calvin, who is this like he is the Rob Schneider of the group. He's like super neurotic, no confidence at all. He's like, hey, so do you think you're still up for the running? And he turns around with the ice pick and he's just like super angry. He's in the middle of this existential crisis and the tension is fantastic.
Calvin's the guy that can't pee in public, or can't pee, right?
He's pee shy for sure. So let's see. There's a whole bunch of other characters who are like pretty meh, including Caitlin Doubleday as Amy, who is like the love interest of Dean.
Yeah.
You can totally drop her out of this story if you
I don't
want
even
to.
remember.
Yeah.
Very forgettable.
Is it?
Forgettable performance, forgettable character. What are you gonna do? Yeah, pretty much. I feel like this is perfect for anybody entering into the workforce who has been in the workforce for years. I mean, at some point, if you've worked any like job, like a gig job, you are very familiar with this. One of which I was just dealing with tonight. That feeling of getting so close to close and you're like dead and you're like, man, I hope they don't. I hope they don't do it. And sure enough, somebody does it. They come in those last 5 minutes and they want everything. You know what I mean? They want to do a 30 minute deal. God. Every time. It's terrible. And lastly, the last point I want to make about this is really just one of my, and they have a corporate training video and it's just as terrible as you would think. It's fantastic. But the last is one of my favorite quotes of all time in any movie. And it's a super throwaway when they're just going through at the dinner rush. There's two guys sitting down eating and you catch a bit of their conversation. And it's too bad chlamydia is the name of a venereal disease. It's such a pleasant sounding word. Chlamydia? Yeah, chlamydia. Huh. I think I might name my daughter Chlamydia.
Yeah, remember that part?
That has stuck with me forever. I think about it all the time. But yeah, that's my runner-up pick. Waiting. Gotta love Ryan Reynolds just doing his thing. His whole bug as a character, and everybody gives him crap for it constantly, is he has a tendency to go after underage girls. But by the end of the movie, he realizes, not only is this illegal, but horribly wrong. I'm taking advantage of these girls. And he kind of changes his ways a little bit. He has growth in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
He basically plays Van Wilder.
Oh, and I didn't write the name of the actor down, but Bishop, the wise philosophical dishwasher who's constantly giving everybody input on everything. Fantastic.
That's good. That's a good role.
Yeah.
The Yoda of the kitchen.
Yeah, for reals. And you gotta love a dude who says choich.
Maybe I need to watch this again. I don't remember Choich. It has been a little while. That's a good pick, Frank. That's a good pick.
Great pick.
Thank you.
That one
Thank
feels
you.
very accurate as someone who's worked in a restaurant before. That
Dude,
one
for reals.
definitely feels like they're hitting it right on the head. And speaking of which, bum bum bum. My number one pick's Office Space.
Hey! Oh, I'm so glad
It's
I didn't
Office
choose it.
Space, everyone. I'm just gonna talk trash again. This is the best one, guys. I don't know what you guys have coming up, but this is it.
This is the quintessential workplace movie.
This is the workplace movie. Office Space. How could I not pick Office Space?
Arguably, The Office wouldn't be around without Office Space.
Yeah, and you know what? I go so far as to say Office Space is a more successful spoof of an office than The Office is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it hits
Because
so hard.
there's so many things in the office that like would never happen at a workplace. But I mean,
especially the American office. Like the British office is a little less
more
silly,
contained. Yeah.
but yeah, the American one really goes off the rails. Like Michael Scott would be sued or something.
Oh yeah, within he
you would
does
never
get
be
sued.
allowed. You would never be allowed to have like the Dundies.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that just wouldn't happen. Okay, so what is Office Space about? Well, it's about 3 programmers who are facing termination. They're going to be laid off from their job.
Is it Michael Bolton?
Michael
Saheed?
Bolton. Yeah.
No relation.
And you know what, man? What is? I don't even know.
Kevin?
His,
Is it
I don't
Kevin?
even know his name. Actually, I didn't write it down.
Is it Roland?
The character.
it's
or the
Ron
actor?
Livingston, but I can't.
It is
remember.
Ron Livingston.
Peter.
There we go.
right.
Yeah, it's Ron Livingston from Band of Brothers. But anyway, Yeah, it's these three
Amigos.
They're going to be laid off from Initech, the software corporation that they work for. And they devise a scheme in which to steal money through a computer virus.
A la Superman.
Yeah, a la Superman 3. And they're going to essentially get away with not having to work. That's Peter's dream, is to just not work. That's what he wants to do for the rest of his life. Quite the admirable position, if I say so myself.
Could I give you a little meta side cart really quick?
Yeah.
So we were talking about The Office and how they're so similar. A meta thing is that there's an episode of The Office where like Andy's giving a business seminar in the office, and one of the like people off the street that come in to like attend it is just like, well, I have an idea for a business, and like, okay, let's hear it. And he's just like, well, I'll start a business where, you know, people use it and I get 0.03 of every transaction. So every time they go to me, they get 0.03 transaction. If they make a phone call, they get 0.03 transactions.
Yeah, that is very similar, because these guys, that's how they keep describing it. They're like fractions of a penny. We're not stealing. We're just taking fractions of a penny millions of times.
And you know it's really funny. We at work, sometimes you have to transfer credit on account from the in-store POS system to the online point of sales. And for the longest time, like it would happen maybe, man, like 7 out of 10 times where like it would be a penny short. And I was always like, man, somebody is going to be living it up in the Bahamas with this piece of code that they wrote in here.
That's got to be what it is.
They're totally doing like an Office Space thing.
There you go. They'll never notice.
Yeah, right.
They'll never notice. Why don't you hit us with those numbers?
Number daddy time. Cool. I had to unlock it with my face here really quick. 1999's Office Space scored a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb and a whopping 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dang, that's 12 less than
Yeah. Which is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good, man. Made on a budget of $10 million. Had an opening weekend of $4,231 or $4,231,727 with a worldwide gross of $10,828,256 wing wangs.
Wing wang.
Wow, wing wang indeed.
It's a lot of clams.
Wang chun.
It is quite a lot of clams. So Office Space is Mike Judge, who I don't think...
Oh, actually, they just broke even. Yeah, I forgot it was a $10 million budget.
Oh.
They made $128,000 on this movie.
Oops.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
It's so memed.
And this is like a classic now. Like this is a movie that you
have
could
to watch.
You could buy anywhere too. You like go to Target, they're gonna have Office Space there.
It's true. And it's on TV like every day.
Yeah.
Almost every day.
It's required, actually. It's like written into law. So yeah, Mike Judge, very like dry humor guy all around. We've discussed one of his other films, Idiocracy. This is
Also featuring Justin Long.
Yeah, this is his first live action movie, actually, with 1996's Beavis and Butthead Do America being ahead of that.
Movie, by the way.
But yeah, Mike Judge, this would actually be a pretty simple. This is again just me talking about scheduling things. This would be a really simple movie ranking episode because it's really only Beavis and Butthead Do America, Office Space, Idiocracy, and Extract. That's his only films.
I'm down. Let's do it right now.
A later one?
No,
Really?
I mean we have Silicon Valley.
I forgot he's behind that.
And here's another thing too. He's really good about making like movies about an occupation or making stories about occupations.
Silicon Valley.
And when I was putting this list together, I was like, man, there are so many good examples of this that are TV shows.
Oh, definitely.
Like The Office or Party Down is
Party
really,
Down's
really good.
great. Eastbound and Down.
Loaded Up and Trucking.
Loaded Up and Trucking.
What's that?
Is that from,
Eastbound Down.
you know what? I've only seen like 2 or 3 episodes of that show. I need to go back and watch it.
Oh, what a ride.
Pretty
What a wild
intense.
ride.
I love it.
I enjoyed it too. I don't know why I didn't finish watching it.
Dude, Danny McBride is so fantastic.
Vice Principals. Also another good show.
So in this movie, we get Ron Livingston as Peter. He's our main character. He starts off just like hating his job, and the opening scene of the movie is just fantastic, where we get to see every little thing in the office setting that just drives him crazy. There's like the TPS report that he messed up. He didn't get the cover right.
Yeah.
And then like he has all 8 of his bosses either come by or call him to tell him like, oh, did you get the memo? Or like, we'll send you another copy of the memo. Don't worry.
He hears that lady on the phone.
The lady on the other phone. Yeah. Like,
Just a moment.
Just a moment. Customer service. Just a moment. Like over and over again. And it's hilarious because in the movie, she never stops doing it. Whenever there's a scene by his desk, you hear it in the background. It's always mixed in there.
Ooh, how aggravating.
Dude, it is so much. There's actually a deleted scene where he snaps at her.
Nice.
I was checking out the deleted scenes. This is the only one that was even like remotely interesting, but it makes him seem very rude. Like he doesn't come off very well because he's not an angry guy. He's just totally uninterested. He's unmotivated. And then his girlfriend, who I forgot that he had a girlfriend in the movie. Like
Who also works at a
originally?
crappy corporate restaurant.
No, not Jennifer Aniston. His girlfriend at the beginning of the movie.
She's just
who's
like
cheating
the
on
love
him.
interest.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the name of that restaurant? It's like a TGI Fridays knockoff.
Oh,
but is it-
it's did I write it down?
I know
Hula
you.
Hands or something
I know
like
you need
that?
a certain amount of flair on the
Tchotchke. The
uniform.
place is called Tchotchke's.
Tchotchke's.
And then she ends up working at Fingerlings across the street. Or across the parking lot, I should say. But anyway, yeah, Peter's got a different girlfriend at the beginning of the movie who takes him to a hypnotherapist. And the hypnotherapist, he's telling him, he's like, is there any way that you can just like black me out? Like, I just want to like not know I'm at work while I'm at work. Is that
Same.
possible? And then he's like, he puts him under, like a hypno spell. I don't know. Relax. And when I count and snap my fingers, you'll snap out of it. And then like while he's counting down, he has a heart attack and dies. So he never gets snapped out of it. And then from that point on in the movie, he's just not caring at all about anything at his job.
He has the vibe of somebody who's like on the last couple of days of their 2-week
Or
notice.
just won the lottery or something like
Yeah.
that, you know?
Exactly. So yeah, we got Ron Livingston, we got Michael Bolton and Samir.
Samir, that's it.
These guys are his buddies, his programming buddies.
And Samir's like a straight up gangster, but he's not.
Oh, yeah.
And well, so is Michael Bolton, which we get in the very opening scene of the movie where he's driving to work.
With the ghetto boys.
And he keeps like getting behind a lane of traffic because it's moving, and then as soon as he gets
yeah.
behind it, it stops. I mean, it's great. Some other people that we got to point out, we have
Nice little chair fart there.
we have Bill Lumbar, who's Gary Cole. He's his boss. He's so hateable. Lumberg, yeah.
Right.
Did I say lumbar?
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's because you said
'Cause of the
chair.
chair.
You said chair, and then I was like, oh, I hope you have good lumbar support.
That's
over there.
fun word association. And actually, the lumbar support in this chair is fantastic.
Okay, excellent. But yeah, Lumberg, man, just a all around hateful boss.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna need you to come in on Saturday. Actually,
Oh, is that a stapler?
we have Milton, played by Stephen Root. He's the little guy who whispers the whole movie. You might also know him as the man in the High Castle, the titular man in the High Castle.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I
Slightly.
don't know him as that man, and he also wasn't in Castle Rock.
I'm pretty sure Stephen Root's in like a couple Futurama episodes too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he's in a lot of things.
I'm sure his voice is anyways. We have Bob Slidell, who plays one of the Bobs. They come in to try, they're like corporate people who are trying to decide who's going to get laid off, and they're interviewing everyone.
They're
and,
like corporate hitmen.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And they're so impressed with Peter's answers that they want to give him a raise.
Yeah.
And like, he's literally just saying like, I do nothing. Like, I don't want to be here.
I love how they like knock on Lumberg for like not motivating him enough.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you. Yeah,
He's kind of a slacker.
But Bob Slidell is played by John C. McGinley, who I didn't know this guy's name, but he's Dr. Cox in Scrubs, as everyone
right.
else, how everyone else knows him.
Good old Coxie.
You get a few Coxisms in this movie too. You can see him like leaning into the character a little bit.
He's in Full Metal Jacket, right?
I don't think he's
in Full Metal Jacket.
You're about to blow my mind if this guy's in Full
Or is it
Metal
Platoon?
Jacket.
It's either Platoon or Full Metal
Okay,
Jacket.
well you get on
I'll
the,
check
you
that
get on
out.
the Vietnam movie watch list, and then we also got to toss out that we have Jennifer Aniston in this movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, Joanna. She just plays a great role, and I actually like how kind of forward this movie is in its like relationship dynamic. That there's a scene where Ron Livingston, Peter, learns that she has slept with this guy named Lumberg. He thinks it's his boss. It's not his boss. But he blows up at her and yells at her. And she's like, why are you judging me about my past relationships? This is none of your business. And I was like, wow, this is a delightful lesson that we're being taught here in this movie.
Pretty ahead of its time.
Yeah, pretty ahead of his time.
Also, McGinley is in Platoon.
Wow, okay. Not as good as Full Metal Jacket, but... But anyway, yeah, Office Space, man, it's so funny. It's like so dry. Corporate work seems so miserable. I would hate to ever have to do that.
90s corporate culture.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's
I
disgusting.
mean, like the cubicle life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is still around, but not as much, I'd say. Thankfully, like, I think movies like this, like, opened America's eyes.
Well, that and they're
a lot.
outsourced to other countries. So
That
they can pay
too?
people less
Man,
money.
but you know what? That scene where Peter like takes down the walls on his
yeah.
cubicle.
That's
It's
beautiful.
so fantastic.
And then he's just like eating Cheetos and playing Tetris.
Yeah.
He's just like, sorry, I can't meet with you right now. I'm
It
busy.
always, it's like a weird, like, view into, like, the past when you see, like, them kind of struggling to be, like, programmers, like, getting ahead and stuff like that. When, like, nowadays, like, they would be set. Like, they probably got a great job.
Yeah, that's true. I think it also speaks a lot to like the lesson behind it's kind of interesting, just like to do something that you're going to be happy with. And it ends on like a note of just like him being a construction worker, which I think people might like look down upon, but it's like, no, people need jobs and people are made for certain kinds of work and do the job that you want to do.
and people need houses. Somebody's got to build
Yeah.
those houses. Somebody's got to
Oh,
build
he
those office
starts working with
buildings.
Diedrich Bader, right?
Yeah,
His
yeah,
name.
yeah. At the end, his neighbor Lawrence. But yeah, that's man, that's good old Office Space. It's got a lesson that resonates, and it's also just hilarious. It's so good. So
Oh, and
yeah.
of course the iconic scene of them killing that printer.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah.
beating the crap out of it.
With some good what is it? Ghost. Ghetto Boys.
Yeah,
I was gonna
that's
say
right, the
Ghost
Ghetto
Boys. Is
Boys.
different. Yeah, the Ghetto Boys soundtrack bumping throughout this movie. Some great stuff.
What's that moment where, like, Peter's talking to Lawrence on the couch and he's just like, hey, has anyone ever called you like a silly goose or something like that?
He's like, you ever not feeling work on a Monday and someone asks you,
You got a case of the Monday?
do you have a case of the Mondays?
He's like, no. Hell no.
No. You
Pretty
get
sure you
killed
get
for
your
that. Yeah, it's just great, man. It's just a great movie.
What a pick, dude. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, fantastic, David.
Nothing. Someone had to do it.
Think you're not going to get any gripes there.
you've been shooting with straight fire today.
What can I say? I'm trimming the fat here. Let's just punch him right in the face.
Well, I'll try to get as close as possible with my pick, which is 2001's Super Troopers.
Ooh.
Whoa, Super Troopers is 20 years old.
That's crazy, right?
Dude, that is
pretty crazy.
nuts.
Jeez.
And you know what? Still slaps. I watched it to go to sleep the other
So
night,
good.
and I stayed up way later than I wanted to.
That's part of the reason why I chose it.
This movie's got a great dynamic between a workforce.
That's right.
For sure.
We were kind of like contemplating in our group chat before this little BTS about like, is Super Troopers a workplace movie? And like, totally. I mean, it's like in the name, and it's also the whole plot is to like save their job.
Yeah, save
Yeah.
the station.
Yeah. So directed by Jay Chandrasekhar, who is Thorny, or Officer Ramathorn. Written by the Broken Lizard Comedy Group, who you might know is the cast of the movie, consisting of Jay, Kevin Heffernan, who plays Farva, Steve Lemmy, who plays Mac Womack, the best, Paul Soder, who plays Carl Foster, and Eric Stolhansk, who plays Rabbit. I'll give you a quick little synopsis. Always looking for action, 5 over-enthusiastic but understimulated Vermont state troopers raise hell on the highway, keeping motorists anxiously looking in the rear view mirrors.
Memers.
And you know what? Sometimes they're overstimulated.
Yeah, absolutely. Between an ongoing feud with the local cops over who's, you know what, is bigger, and the state government wanting to shut them down.
Budget. Whose budget is bigger?
The Super Troopers find themselves precariously and hilariously heading toward a calamity as they try to avoid extinction. Why don't you hit us with those stats?
Yeah, really fantastic movie here. The Super Troopers has scored a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb and a disgusting 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. Hard disagree.
That's crazy. Really?
I mean,
30%?
30% is a little low. It should be like around 50.
Dude, that's exactly what I was
it's
thinking.
kind
For
of a
Rotten
dumb
Tomato
movie,
score,
you know what I mean?
50%.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like that's saying that this is a worse movie than what is it? Spiral.
I mean, and that's what Broken
too low.
Lizard do. They do heavy like workplace comedies, a la Club Dread,
true.
Slam and Salmon. That's pretty much what they do.
I always forget that waiting is not Slam and Salmon. Like
Yeah,
as
different
weird
very
as that
similar.
sounds, it's like
Yeah.
the same kind of idea, but Yeah, the Broken Lizard part isn't it? They're beer fest too, aren't they?
They are beer
They are
fest.
beer
Okay.
fest.
They are beer
Less
fest.
of a workplace,
Yeah,
but I
less
guess
of a
they end up
workplace.
brewing their own stuff. Yeah, but
God, that's
way
such a
less
great
of a
movie,
workplace.
though.
Yeah, that is pretty low. That is
Made
pretty
on a
low.
budget of $3 million. Speaking of low, opening weekend of $6,203,906 and a worldwide gross of $23,182,223.
They made a ton of money. I'm pretty sure that they self-financed it.
I was gonna say that's why these guys kept making movies after this.
Yeah, I think they really did self-finance it, and then they sold it to Fox Searchlight, and then they made banging money, and they were just like, all right, what else do you want to do? You know, this is also a classic example of being too late to the punch in terms of making a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
I never watched the sequel. I mean, it seemed weird. It was like something that happened for a few years where every comedy movie from like the 2000s just had a sequel for some reason, even ones that didn't need one. Like,
True.
we never needed a Zoolander 2.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
Or Anchorman 2.
Anchorman 2 or like
Same.
Fell on its
Dodgeball
butt.
5. Like all these movies didn't need to happen, but
Dodgeball 3, Tokyo Drift.
yeah.
I think that sweet spot would have been right after Club Dread. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that would have been a good time.
They were in their peak.
And
at that
there's
point.
some good stuff in Super Troopers. I think we watched it in that hotel room in Dallas after the Cowboy game. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the second one?
Yeah,
we
when
did.
we were
There's-
just all sick on hot car KFC.
Oh God, what a time! Ugh, in the Texas sun eating fried chicken.
Pro tip: if you leave Kentucky Fried Chicken in a hot car for the length of the entire football game, do not eat that fried chicken after the game, no matter how drunk you are.
Yeah, especially after how many beers you had.
Wait, so you guys were driving?
No, we were not driving.
Okay.
We were driven. This is also another look into the past. This is one of the first DVDs that I owned, and this is one of the first DVDs to come out. I believe this was right at the cusp of like generally available DVDs as like a home medium.
You liar. No, I'm just joking.
I'm
You're
pretty
right.
sure.
No, you're
yeah.
right.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because this was like
Because I had Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was around the same time.
Spider-Man, Dude,
Where's
Silent
My Car?
Bob, Dude,
Yeah.
Where's My Car, and Joe Dirt, sadly.
I mean, they also like used to put a little more thought into DVD menus anyways.
Yeah.
But
That's
even
true.
this DVD cover is just classic as well.
Do you guys
Oh,
remember the
yeah.
thing about DVD menus where your DVD would come with like a CD-ROM game
Oh,
in it,
yeah,
and you had to like
yeah.
put it in your computer to play the game?
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith, the DVD had like a Battlefront 2 demo on it. It
Oh,
was
sick.
It was so dope, dude. It was so dope. I was like, this is
Two
great.
for the price of
Talk
one.
about
Yeah.
value, man.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, man, let's do this.
This is a movie I wore out on DVD. I watched the hell out of this movie, and I still can pop it in anytime, like Frank said. And it's really good. I mean, it's probably because there are offensive parts of it, but it's like so focused to like the plot line that it doesn't go meta as to like what time period it's in. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, I see what you're
Like
saying.
the comedy's focused situationally on what's going on. And that's why it's so funny. Plus, the jokes are just hilarious. I
Yeah.
mean, the gags are
they still get me.
The opening scene is still one of the best like opening scenes in a movie.
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries. man.
Yeah.
You boys like Mexico?
Yeah, and there's a couple familiar faces in that car too. There's like the guy, one of those guys is on Undeclared. He's in a bunch of like the Seth Rogen stuff.
Yes, yeah.
The guy that eats all the drugs
Yeah.
is the Lobster Boy and Bubble Boy, and
Yeah.
also married to one
Christina Hendricks.
Hendricks.
That guy's Christina Hendricks.
so weird.
Which gives it like
Husband.
there's somebody for everybody, you know?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
that blonde dude's in Cabin Fever. He's the
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's Sweet Lou from
Sweet Lou,
Grind.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
God.
who it is.
We should do a movie commentary on Grind.
Movies that
God.
fall flat.
Yeah, or
Movies
just-
that you should never watch after your adolescence.
yeah.
There has to be like a 10-year period between. Also, a quick little meta side card on this. We were talking about in Waiting, the titular staff waits at a place called Shenanigans. Mm-hmm. There is a Shenanigans in the Super Troopers universe.
Same universe.
That's right.
That's
These like
Hey,
Shenanigans.
what's the name of that crazy restaurant you like
all
with
the
all the
goofy shit on the
goofy shit on the wall?
Oh, you mean Shenanigans?
weird. That's got to be a reference for sure.
And then, you know what? Speaking of goofy stuff on the wall, I forgot to mention well, it's not even dope, but it is mildly impressive Rube Goldberg machine that plays after the credits. You see it on the wall like throughout the whole movie, and then they actually run it and it like pours a beer after a bunch of crazy stuff, which is very satisfying. Every time I watch Waiting, I wait till after the credits to watch that machine go through again.
Man.
I gotta say, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Currently, it's streaming.
Well, that's good because then it fits here on this podcast.
My number one.
I gotta say, I'm not crazy about this one, but it's my number one.
Currently streaming on Hulu as we speak. Ooh. If you haven't seen this,
You're cursing it, Danny. You're cursing it right now.
I'm just gonna say it.
We're giving it the uninformed movie reviews anti-bump.
Yeah.
The death bump.
Please take it down.
Watch it if you haven't. I think you'll enjoy it.
I think you're going to like the way it looks.
I guarantee it.
Oh, these guys are out of business. At least the ones in El Paso.
Oh, well, I guess that leaves it with little old me for my number one pick. Unless you got anything else you want to say, but that sounded like a summary to me, Danny.
Yeah, it was
sounded
good.
like an in summation.
I like that.
Gotta get back to my notes. Have a lot of different tabs open right now, so sorry about that. So we already talked about Coxie. We mentioned Silicon Valley a little bit, and I'm gonna have Cox and Big Head from Silicon Valley in 2016's The Belko Experiment.
Yes.
Which after last night's rewatch, I was just telling all my coworkers, like, have you watched The Belko Experiment? Go watch it. Thank you,
What
David.
an awesome movie, man. Oh, you got it right there.
Yeah,
All right.
I got
Yeah, so we're definitely going to take a detour off of the heavy comedy list that we've been talking so far. This is one of the few workplace movies that isn't a comedy.
But all kind of is.
Dude, there's some good
There's
humor
some
in
really
this,
funny
for sure.
stuff.
There's some really funny stuff. Written by James Gunn, directed by Greg McLean. 2016's Belko Experiment scored a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb, a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's way too low.
This is one of those movies that we cursed by not going to go see in the theaters. James Gunn has said in interviews before that he has 2 or 3 movies in his mind. He knows what happens, but people didn't show up to the box office. And a lot of times, especially in the horror genre,
Yeah.
if you didn't make the money in the box office, they're not going to let you make a couple more movies, you know?
Wow.
So Belko is a nonprofit organization that facilitates American companies in South America in the hiring of American workers, which is a direct line from the movie at the beginning. This particular office is located in Bogota, Colombia. 80 Belko employees are going about their business, assuming this day is like any other day of work, when an unknown voice comes on over the intercom and instructs them to kill 2 coworkers in the next 30 minutes, and if not, they're going to kill 4 of them. Metal shutters spring up over the doors and windows, sealing them up entirely. It's a battle royale, y'all. Let's go. I mean, I can't say enough good stuff about this movie. I don't think I have any gripes, really. I can't imagine changing anything and enjoying it as much as I do. Shout out to the Spanish covers of I Will Survive and California Dreaming, which made me think of The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or, some Sons of Anarchy ending credits.
I try not to think about the music in Sons of Anarchy. There's a lot of really poor music choices made in that show.
So bad.
I think that's the worst thing about Sons of Anarchy.
It lets you know how much of a douche Kurt Sutter is.
Oh,
Dude, for reals, like the music in Sons of Anarchy, to continue on this tangent, makes you know for sure that Kurt Sutter, like in his everyday life, wears Affliction t-shirts and thumb rings.
Oh my God.
He would hang out with Zach Baggins. For sure.
For
Wow.
sure.
In the House of Baggenry, even.
Yeah. So main characters in the movie, we got Mike Milch, played by John Gallagher Jr., who is the main leading man. Leandra Flores, played by Adria Ajorna, who is Mike Milch's main squeeze. We have the Wendell Dukes, played by John C. McGinley, of course, Dr. Cox. Barry Norris, played by Tony Goldwyn, who is the main honcho in The Office, a very intense character. We have Keith McClure, played by Josh Brennan, who is Big Head from Silicon Valley. Bud Melks, who is played by one Michael Rooker, who is half of the maintenance crew, along with Lonnie Crane, played by David Malchian.
It wouldn't be a James Gunn movie without his brother in it and Michael Rooker.
Yeah. And of course, you get Sean Gunn, who plays Marty Espenshield, who is like... there's a little group of stoners there, and he is the head head, if you will, and he's all like, dude, that's where a lot of the comedy comes from. Honestly, he carries the comedy feels of the movie. At one point he becomes convinced that like, no, it's like a psychological experiment, man. They just want to see what we're gonna do under stress. They put psychotropic drugs in the water, so he goes around the office just dumping all like the water coolers out. He's so funny, man. There's a part where he's just like, it's all in my head, it's all in my head, and everybody's heads are exploding around him. He's just getting splattered in blood. Really fantastic journey for that character. So funny, man. Very intense. There's some pretty big like intense moments, a few lighthearted moments, one of which Big Head himself, there's a point where the main character and his girlfriend are kind of quarreling because everybody, like, nobody was expecting this situation. So everybody's trying to make the most sense of it as they can. They're trying to figure out how to go about overcoming this obstacle in different ways. This is like a government job. So there are dudes there who are like ex-special forces, Coxie and the boss included. So they like are being super tactical about this. Of course, they're like, well, we're going to have to kill all these people. Like, obviously the strong will survive. Mitch is trying, like, he doesn't want to kill anybody. He thinks he can save everybody. And they're having an argument over instigating some stuff with the killers. You know what I mean? They go off to like a corner in a cubicle to try to have a private conversation. When they're done, Big Head is like, hey, so just so you guys know, we heard every word that you said. It's just a cubicle. It's not like another room. Which is just fantastic. I was laughing so hard by myself last night. There's a scene where they have these trackers in their heads. I don't feel like I'm giving away a huge plot point because it happens very early in the movie, but Mike tries to like take his tracker out with like a box cutter, and that scene is like so intense. And they start threatening him like, dude, you better stop or we're going to blow you up in 3, 2. And then he's just like, all right. Which is crazy. He's got like blood all over the back of his shirt for the rest of the movie. Yeah, and I have it actually there in my notes. Not a workplace comedy, but there's some solid humor. One of the things I also like about this movie, they do come across like some guns and some knives, pretty traditional weapons, but there's a ton of environmental kills, and I wrote a little list of the ones that I noticed here. We have a monkey wrench maintenance on maintenance man head cave-in. We have somebody get murdered or like brutally injured with a paper cutter blade. A character gets smushed by an elevator. And the final kill happens with a tape dispenser, and the shot of the character making this kill, raising it over his head, it's this awesome front lit silhouette from behind him when he comes up for the final thrust. It's so intense. Like, I like rewinded it just to like see that shot again. It's so fantastic. I don't want to give away any huge block points or plot points, because you should watch this movie if you haven't seen it before, or block points even. Yeah, any points. No easy buckets. But go watch this movie, man. Super intense. I feel like the ending is super satisfying. Of course, being a horror movie, you like allude to like the sequel, like but I mean,
I guess it won't happen.
Yeah, James Gunn has said like he's essentially said in multiple interviews, and his brother Sean, when asked, like, well, don't hold your breath because it's not happening.
We got to see how much money he makes off Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Funny also, Michael Rooker will be in Suicide Squad.
That's right.
As
But
well as
phenomenal cast. Everybody does a great job. People who are supposed to be intense do a great job of being intense. People who are supposed to be more timid, they look very scared and mouse-like. It's just, you really get to see a lot of people psychologically snap in very different ways. And like in the climax of the movie, fantastic action sequences. Like, you really feel the intensity of the moment. I read some review where they were saying like it falls into like the expected, what do they call it? Like stock and splatter, but I don't feel that way about this movie at all. Like, I feel like the ramp ups, like with each phase of this experiment, like really ramp it up, and they're all handled very differently. The dynamics of the group changed completely several times throughout the movie. It was great. Can't say enough good stuff about it.
Yeah, I think it's a really underrated one. I mean, there's a pretty good following now. I think it's picked up more traction on the internet, but yeah, especially if you're a horror fan looking for something a little bit different.
Yeah,
this is a good one.
Very different. And you can rent it on Prime right now for $4.32. And it actually suggested, after I was done with the movie, there's some movie called Mayhem with Steve Ewan.
It's supposed to be really good. Yeah. I haven't seen it.
And you know what? At the beginning of the trailer, I was like, man, this acting looks really cheesy. And as the trailer went on, I was like, man, this acting seems perfect for this movie. Like, seemed a little bit like cartoonish. I'm going to have to give it a watch.
It's Steve Yeun and what's her name? It's she's one of the daughters in Bill and
Not
Ted.
Margot Robbie, but looks very similar.
Yeah, she does. That's gonna bother me. But Danny's looking it up.
I'm already on it.
Typing away, clickety clack.
She's great. She's in Evil Dead too, the TV show.
Samara Weaving.
Samara Weaving. Yeah.
She was in that one movie, Ready or Not, right?
Yeah.
movie.
Australian.
Oh, and Aussie.
An Aussie.
Well, that's our list, y'all.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the end of the podcast because that's all we do. Just kidding. Of course, we're going to get on into character limit. Extended.
Yeah, great.
Gotta love that echo. great echo chamber in here we're in. And of course, this is the segment where we talk a little bit more about the movie we talked a little bit about a week ago. And that is Red Dawn, y'all. The one true Red Dawn.
Yes,
the only Red Dawn that
Dawn.
exists in my mind.
Yes, 1984. Mm-hmm. Perfect year for this movie to come out, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Red Dawn. Oh, wait, so it's a Hemingway guy starts it
I was
off,
going to say,
right?
David, you had the Hemingway. Why don't you lead us off?
I didn't. I had the chirp.
That was me.
David, I just listened to these last night. I should remember. I'm recording this a little bit in advance because when this is coming out, David and I will be heading back from Colorado. If I don't fall out of the raft in whitewater rafting.
Oh, shoot, dude. I'll make a very sad
Please be
drive
careful.
back if you do.
Yeah, if you guys are white rafting.
You know what? I'm not going to be careful, Danny.
I'm just going to put a bunch of heavy stuff in
Just
my pocket
because you
so it keeps
asked.
me in the boat.
No,
I'm not going to be careful.
I did have not a close family friend, but a family friend we had died from whitewater
Oh, well,
rafting.
now you got to make me feel bad.
So just be careful. I don't want you guys dying.
I feel like that's not fair.
This was one of those movies that had existed in like the popular cinema ether that I'd known because of its references and all that stuff. And I'd just known it's like what it is without ever watching it. This is my first time like actually sitting down and watching the entire thing.
That's
I'm just like
insane,
I feel like I'm
dude.
so mind blown by
have we not talked about this yet?
Yeah.
No.
That's crazy, dude.
That is insane.
That's my
That's
first time
nuts.
watching it. I sadly saw the newer one before.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And that's why it was so forgettable. I was just like, wait, what?
Jeez, man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry that happened to you.
And it's funny because when I was watching this movie, like probably within like after I saw the opening sequence, I was just like, man, this movie would be great with an update. And I was like, oh wait.
No, it wouldn't.
You know what? I was talking to my brother about like when we were doing this episode, and I was like, no, I don't think any of us have seen the new one. I was like, oh wait, Danny has seen it, but Danny will watch some terrible movies. That's why I watched the Super Cop remake, as a matter of fact. RoboCop.
RoboCop?
Yeah, RoboCop.
Super Cop.
That's a terrible movie.
That Super Cop is the name of the movie that Nick Frost picks up in Hot Fuzz.
How funny! Yeah,
when he's at the supermarket.
I was obviously making
He's
a joke
too
alluding to that.
something.
Yeah, he's the cop who can't be stopped.
Can't be stopped.
And you know what? I thought about doing like Hot Fuzz,
Yeah,
like as
I
a
did too.
workplace.
Oh, that's a great
But I
workplace
figured we'll have an opportunity to do it some other time.
Yeah.
It'll fit better in like Buddy Cop or something like that.
Dang.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
that's a good genre.
Action comedies.
This movie's great. I think it holds up well. It's got a great cast. It's got a great premise. The plot's amazing. I mean, the premise of the movie is fantastic. I mean, it's the best. When you hear about what it is about, you're just like, that sounds awesome. I want to see that as a movie.
Did you really enjoy it, or are you just nervous we'll bully you because of what happened with the Warriors?
No, because this is a good movie.
Oh, double down, Dan.
My one drawback from this movie is I do feel like it's a little bit too long in some places, but also the spaghetti western sounds
Dude.
do not age well, and the visual effects for shooting in particular is real bad.
It's weird because they spend a lot of money, like with all the guns and the tanks.
There's so many military
and
vehicles
the explosions.
and jets.
They didn't have any money left for a consultant.
I guess that's all they needed. They just needed someone to come in and be like,
Some of the action sequences are a little hokey as far as like fight coordination go.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of.
There's also some weird like displacement going on where like a character will be in one place.
Yes.
One thing that comes into mind is when C. Thomas Howell is dropping the grenades off the tin roof.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like landing in like all these different places, but he's just in the same spot dropping grenades over and over again.
Sometimes you just find a great spot, man.
There's
Just
just
like there's like a what do they call
Like an
it?
overhang.
No, those boards they have in Japan. They're like gambling machines with the balls, and you drop them down.
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah,
I'll put a picture.
it's what happens to you at the end of Fall Guys when you're kicked out.
Yeah.
There's just some overall like sloppiness in choreography. You know what I mean? And like in particular, like some scenes where like they're hiding from the Russians, or like the Russians discover them like up in the mountains and stuff, and they're just like there's this awkward moment where they're like trying to figure out what to do action wise. And maybe it lends to the realism a little bit, but honestly it's an awesome movie. I can look past all that. It just made me laugh that both of the stars in Dirty Dancing are in this, because when I started watching it I was like, all right, Swayze, I get to make some Dirty Dancing jokes, and then they pull her out of like the cellar, and I'm just like, now I really get to make some Dirty Dancing jokes.
And boy, did he.
Oh boy, did you. They're all fantastic.
But it's awesome. It's a good movie. Really good movie.
You know, sometimes I really wish we could release like every single Hemingway, and this is definitely one of those times.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just do it for whatever Christmas CLE we get, because it's just going to be like the gift that keeps on giving.
Keeps on giving. That's
The 12 Hemingways of Christmas.
Oh yeah. No, but yeah, great movie, guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
What do you guys got? Because you
would've been
guys.
upset.
Why don't you hit us mid-length, David?
Well, I was just gonna say that the cast is just so classic in this movie. Like, you get someone from like every '80s movie possible. You got Patrick Swayze and C. Thomas Howell, Outsiders energy. You got Charlie Sheen and Jennifer Grey, who are also in the same year going to be in Ferris Bueller's Day Off together.
Which leads me to believe probably did a little bit of banging, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. How could you not?
They were so hot back then.
I know that the Colonel is a pretty famous actor too, and I can't remember what he's in.
He's some like acclaimed stage actor, some like classically
what it
trained
is?
dude. Yeah.
I've seen him in some things, and I can't remember what. I'm going to look it up right now while you guys.
I'm not sure. Well, you got Harry Dean Stanton as Mr. Eckert, as Jed's and Charlie Sheen's dad from Alien.
Oh yeah,
That's a big one.
Ron O'Neill. Wait, no, that's
And
not
then you got
him.
Leah Thompson too. You got Marty McFly's mom.
True.
In this thing. And she plays like a role that's very similar to what's her face from Breakfast Club, Ali Sheedy.
Oh yeah.
She always makes me think she's Ali Sheedy in this movie because she's so
Weird.
yeah, she's very
Broken?
strange. Is it Powers Booth?
Powers Booth.
Powers
That's who
Booth.
it is.
First off, what a great name.
Yeah, he's in Tombstone.
Curly
Oh.
Bill Brocious?
Yeah,
Interesting. I'm not familiar.
but he's got that face, you know.
He does. He definitely does.
Oh, he's in Deadwood.
Who's he in Deadwood?
Plays a saloon owner, Cy Tolliver.
Oh, he's Cy Tolliver. Oh, yeah, he is. It's weird because in Deadwood, like, I mean, they all just look different. They're just so westerny. You know, I have a hard time placing people, except when Kristen Bell shows up in that show.
Which is very obviously Kristen Bell.
Yeah, and she's playing like a fake prostitute. It's weird. It's a great episode though.
Okay.
But anyway,
Powers Booth is also in Con Air.
dang, Powers Booth, man, Powers Booth ranking episode coming to you guys.
Yeah, after it,
oh,
bro.
that he's in MacGruber.
I still haven't seen MacGruber.
No, I haven't
You haven't seen
MacGruber either.
MacGruber?
No,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
crazy
Dang it,
because
that
he
should have been my
graduated
birthday
from
pick.
the University of Texas at El Paso.
Star quarterback.
What?
That should have been my birthday pick.
so maybe-
It
Yeah, it's
might.
like part of his pedigree. I remember it from like the trailers.
That's hilarious. But anyway, yeah, man, Red Dawn is fantastic. I love how gritty it is. That's one of the big things that I think makes this movie still feel kind of relevant. It's just how it's not cheesy in the sense of like what the characters are going through. Some of the dialogue's a little hammy or whatever, but the actual plot and the things that the characters have to face are pretty intense.
Yeah, and it starts out the gate, which is like in comparison to the sequel, is so tame. So tame. There's hardly any family killing.
Oh, they do not shy away from the murdering in this.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, they really don't.
It's fantastic. I love this movie, man.
Yeah.
Like I love this movie so much. I would agree with some of the stuff that Danny pointed out as being like that Danny pointed out as shortcomings, but for me, they add to the endearing nature of this because you get a lot of good, and you get a really nice, healthy dose of bad good.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, especially for an 80s movie, that's part of the draw for me, man. I love this stuff. Especially like, and I don't know if I've ever noticed it before, David pointed out, but like all the rocket scenes, the rockets are noticeably on lines because you can see them kind of dip and come up in their little wave as they're going down.
Yeah.
And there's even one scene where you can see the line like clearly.
It's coming straight.
Clear as day, man. I can't say enough good things about this movie. If you haven't watched this movie yet, we can't be friends. I wouldn't have hung out with you all these years if I had known this, Danny.
Okay.
So I'll give you a pass, I guess.
Okay.
Grandfathered in.
Yeah. And if you have watched this movie, go watch Next of Kin, because I bet you haven't seen that.
Oh,
And you have a good old time.
boy, I wish we could do a character limit extended on that one right now. What a wild ride
Yeah,
Next to
man.
Kin was. Thank you for that experience, David.
You know, I knew that that it needed to be sprung.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe we'll do it on the channel sometime.
But yeah, that's really all I got to say about Red Dawn. A++ in my book.
Red Dawn Redemption.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well.
Yeah, that's going to wrap up character limit extended. Coming back from seconds. How about that? And it'll take us straight to... All right. Oh, that's interesting.
And we have breaking news, everyone, right now. This is actually earlier today. It's not breaking news, but I have the news story for us today. It's some weeb news.
Nice.
Oh,
Busting
great.
out
I'm
some weeb
super
news.
interested.
I got 2 weeb newses for you guys, and then I have actually a little game that I've prepared for you.
Ooh,
Okay.
I love it when you prepare a game, David.
Thank you. So for weeb news, Amazon is ending Evangelion by bringing the final film to Prime Video.
Whoa.
So it was
Is that 4.44?
It's 3.0 plus 1.01. Thrice upon a time. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.01. Thrice upon a time.
Wow, that's what the whole...
Yes,
Okay.
that's the
really
entire
rolls
title.
off the tongue.
Yeah, because the earlier ones were like 1.1, 2.2, 3.
2.22, aren't they,
Yeah,
though?
yeah, 3.33 for
Yeah.
sure. And then this one, 3.0 plus 1.01. Thrice. Obviously, what you call your 4th movie in your
They
franchise.
sound like part numbers for like OEM
And that's not even the
schematics.
subtitles, yeah, because they also have like, you
yeah,
can
you
not
cannot advance, which they dropped for this one. They just call it Thrice Upon a Time,
Interesting.
which kind of bugged me because the other 3 they
Couldn't just give me that juicy ending.
no,
huh?
they couldn't do it. But anyway,
You've seen Evangelion,
Well, it's
right?
very. I was gonna say it's very like Evangelion.
Yeah.
They leave you going, what?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Evangelion, a classic '90s anime series, very short series. Go watch that. But they started these rebuild movies. Shoot, I mean, back in the 2000s, like maybe 2000. No, it was like 2010, I think.
Really? Oh, yeah,
It's been a whole decade that we've been waiting for these to come out.
Wow, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, they're Evangelion 1.11. You are not alone. The knots are always in parentheses. Evangelion 2.22. You cannot advance. And Evangelion 3.33. You cannot redo. So then obviously Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.01. Thrice upon a time. Obviously the next logical step.
We will not continue that format.
Wouldn't be Hideaki Anno if it was. To
Yeah,
make
I don't know what
sense.
that means, but sure. This is one of the few animes that's actually near and dear to my heart. I love this series. It's fantastic.
Well, y'all, starting on August 13th, we can finish the series.
Is it a Friday by chance?
I don't know, actually.
That's cool.
Let's check it out.
You know, I haven't seen 3.33.
3.33 is wild. That is the.
It is a Friday the 13th.
Shut up.
Yeah. Okay. So Friday the 13th in August.
We'll be covering it.
So we'll be watching Friday the 13th and also Evangelion.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might have to wait till the 14th because
Back-
we'll have a lot of Friday to watch.
Putting it in the notes.
But yeah, Evangelion. The first 3 films are actually they've been kind of hard to find online. They're not streaming anywhere, and they're getting very expensive, like physically. But Amazon is going to be putting up all 3 movies on Amazon Prime for free ahead of this movie's release.
Very tight.
And then this movie, I think, will also be free. I don't think it's something you have to pay for.
Oh my.
So yeah, I've been dodging spoilers all over the internet, and I just got to say that I'm so excited for this. Also, Rurouni Kenshin, which has had 3 live action movies, which have been, quite frankly, electrifying. They're great live action
Oh,
movies.
they just put it on Netflix, didn't they?
I think they did, but there's actually gonna be 2 more Rurouni Kenshin movies with the same actor playing him, which he does a fantastic job.
Dang.
They just put out the trailer. They're gonna be coming out in 2021, both of them on Netflix. It's not determined whether or not it's gonna be in the US yet, but we'll see. But anyway,
Interesting.
there's some weeb news for you guys. Some weeby movies coming out. Jump on it.
Wow, that's fantastic. At the
Dang,
beginning of this, I
jump
was like,
on
David, why would you do this to me? But I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like I'm going to force you to watch these Rurouni Kenshin movies because if nothing else, the choreography is just amazing.
yeah.
Choreography is
I'm
amazing.
a good
in
fan
these.
of choreography. I grew up with a lot of kung fu movies.
Yeah.
I can really appreciate some
Yeah.
choreography.
I've been wanting to check it out on Netflix. I'm gonna do that.
You would hate the TV show, Frank.
Yeah, it's
but you would really enjoy the movie. I
very
think.
anime.
Okay. Yeah, the TV show is not aged well either.
I believe you.
Anyway, here's our game. So yeah, today's show is about workplace movies, and I thought, what better could we do but for me to create a list of fictional companies from movies.
There you go.
And you guys got to tell me what movie they're from.
Fantastic.
How we determine who wins? Whoever says the name first. Duh.
Seems easy enough.
So not anime.
No anime.
Okay, gotcha.
No anime. Actually, I have a whole separate category of just anime.
Shinra.
No anime, no television, only
Okay.
film. And I even have a sample one here. It's a easy one. So again, I'm just going to tell you the name of the company. The first guy to tell me the movie gets the point. Your first one would be Prestige Worldwide.
Step
Brothers.
Brothers.
Okay, so I got to give it to Danny in that
Yeah,
case. But we
I was
know
way slower.
We know what's going on here, though, right?
Yeah,
we know
I
what's
think
going
we
on.
get it.
Okay, it's gonna be super simple. So please feel free to play along at home. See if you can beat one of these two.
Pulp Fiction.
Yes. It was Big
Sick.
Kahuna Burger, dude. How did you guess? Okay. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, let's see here. So we got Danny with 1 point. And here, let's go. Okay.
Wait, are you awarding it a point for the example?
Was that an example?
That was a freebie.
Oh, I thought it was an example.
Oh,
It's
well,
like
I did-
writing
I
your
did
name
say
on the
freebie.
paper.
That one was essentially just a race.
Okay, so let's go ahead and make a clean scoreboard here.
I mean, give him the point if you want.
Unless it comes down to a 1 point difference.
Ooh, and then he gets
Okay,
the
then
example
we'll see
point.
what's going on
Ooh,
here.
I like that.
Okay, so brace yourselves. Here's your first one. Wayland Yutani.
Alien.
Okay, yeah, I figured Danny would get that one.
Yeah.
And I love that he went Alien too, because you gotta make sure you're in the timeline.
Yes,
If
because
you had said Prometheus, I'd be like, I'm sorry, there's no Yutani
Utani's
yet.
not there yet. No.
Okay, beautiful. By and large,
Oh,
with an N. By and
is that
large.
Employee of the Month?
No, it's not.
No, that's got some other. It's like
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, I know exactly which one it is. It is from Idiocracy.
No, it's not.
No.
By and large, your hint is it's an animated movie.
by and large
sounds so
animated. I feel like I've never heard of this company.
Is it Wally?
It is Wally.
I've never seen Wally.
Dang. Oh, it's a good
Darn.
movie.
What an amazing
And
movie.
you know how much I love
I know,
it.
it's a Disney Pixar
yeah,
movie.
I've only heard good things
Yeah.
about it, even from you, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's weird.
We're going to have to do a UMR Pixar movies, man.
Brondo.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. It's what plants crave.
It is what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You guys both got it, but Danny was a little bit faster.
He definitely got that one.
Nakatomi Trading Company.
Die Hard.
No.
Nice.
Oh,
Yes, it is Die Hard.
dang it.
In the Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah.
Initech.
Office Space.
Yeah, it's Office Space.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay. Engine.
Jurassic
Park. Danny.
Dang.
Sorry.
Danny's fast. Umbrella Health.
Resident Evil.
No.
Umbrella.
Oh, we just covered
yeah,
this
I was gonna say we
too.
just talked about this movie.
Health.
Damn it! What is it?
I can't remember.
Damn it! I don't know it.
I can't remember. We just talked about it.
You would say that the movie has a lot to do with healthcare.
It is Saw 6.
It is Saw
Darn.
6,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That wasn't even.
I was like, I know it's Saw, and I like this one, and it's like, oh, it's Saw 6.
Cyberdyne Systems.
Cyberdyne is.
oh man, it's not Small Soldiers, is it?
No, although it's probably really close, actually.
I think it actually is, yeah. And it's not Terminator. It is Terminator.
It is Terminator, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cyberdyne Systems.
They create Skynet. Yeah.
These last two are really tough, and Frank's got to get them both right if he wants to tie.
All right, let's
we go.
get this L rolling.
Here you go. I would not know these two, okay? But I know them because I looked them up. Lacuna Inc. Lacuna Incorporated, I guess.
Lacuna Inc. Is it Lilo and Stitch? Sounds Hawaiian.
No, it is not.
I will cash in my first hint.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Lacuna Inc. sounds like this is a big company, but in the movie, you only meet like 4 of the employees. And they don't even really have an office. They go to the person's house to offer their service.
Is this Pulp Fiction?
No. No, that's Kahuna Inc. Also in Lilo and Stitch.
They go to the person's
Big Kahuna
house to
Inc.
offer their
Lacuna
services.
Inc. This is a movie that the hipsters in high school would have loved watching and talking about. Like, oh man, have you seen this movie? It's so good.
Huh.
Especially like hipster girls. Hipster girls love this movie.
Oh, well, I would have known this movie. Hipster girls didn't talk to me.
Dang. You were with Danny all the time.
They're too busy talking to Danny.
I am the hipster girl.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that was a joke. He's like, you listen to the new Ben Gibbard album?
Okay. Oh, I know exactly what it is. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Eternal
Yeah,
Sunshine. of the
also a
Spotless
movie I've
Mind.
never seen before.
Oh man, that's a good one.
That's a great movie. Okay, last one. Again, a toughie. Multinational United, or MNU.
we just.
Multinational United.
I'm pretty sure I just watched a movie.
sounds
with
super
this in
familiar.
there.
I think you've both seen this movie. I'd be flabbergasted
Yeah.
if you haven't.
I've heard this before.
Here's
Been
your first
flabbergasted
hint.
before.
It is a sci-fi movie,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely a grounded sci-fi movie.
A grounded.
Is it?
Is it Tremors?
I should say it's you know,
Is it Deus Ex
they take itself very seriously. It's not.
or Ex Machina? I'm sorry.
I got what you
know
were
what I was
guessing,
saying,
no,
right?
but no, it's not.
A grounded.
It's also
sci-fi
not the
movie.
video game Deus Ex.
That's bad. I don't like Deus Ex.
I'm offended.
Is that why you're fanning yourself like a church lady with your
Yes.
handkerchief?
Oh, well, I'm never.
Multinational United.
Sounds so familiar.
I'll give you one more hint. This guy's got a trilogy of movies. This is the first movie that everyone loved, and then people's opinions went down in each subsequent release.
Man, that could be a lot of trilogies.
Yeah.
They're all sci-fi
You just
movies.
described most trilogies.
They're all sci-fi movies, and a lot of them take place in South Africa.
Oh, this is District 9.
This is District 9.
This is Neil Blomkamp, who
yes.
has a new movie coming out.
Oh, really?
With a trailer called Demonic, and it looks real cool.
It's also a great Jimmy Kennedy impression there, David. Good job.
Thank you.
South Africa.
South Africa. Danny had 7. Frank has 3. If I know anything about numbers, Danny's our winner today.
Technically, I have 8.
Not very good with numbers, but I'm pretty sure 7's bigger than 3. Fairly certain.
Fair. Thank you, numbers, Daddy.
8 if we're being fair.
Well, that's all I have for you folks.
That's fantastic, David. That was quite interesting.
That was very
appreciate
interesting. I like the part where I won.
I'm sure you did.
I'm pretty sure I'm undefeated and being defeated at games on the podcast.
Undefeated last place.
Yeah. Reigning chump. Speaking of reigning champs, it's time for Peeps and Predicts, y'all. America's favorite, by and large, hypothetical debate segment at the end of a podcast.
Yeah.
At the end of this podcast specifically.
Wow. I feel like no one can argue with that.
Yeah, right? If you're unfamiliar with the segment, we take a pair of peeps, or people, if you will, real or fictional, and we pit them against each other in several predicts or predicaments, if you will, and see who's going to come out on top of this situation. And the winner will go on to face our reigning champ, who is currently Burt Gummer, y'all. One of the best characters that's ever existed.
Yeah, from Trimmers.
The Gooms.
All right. Our peeps for today are Night Owl versus Valak the Nun. Now, I'm assuming this is actual Night Owl and not
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson or him portraying his
his name?
portrayal of
Ed Warren.
Ed Warren.
Ed Warren, that's right.
Yeah, if you've never watched any of our Conjuring content, this is gonna be very confusing. But
Go ahead and scroll down, though.
the joke is that in the Conjuring movies, Ed Warren is played by
Night Owl.
Patrick Wilson, who plays Night Owl from The Watchmen. Watchmen reference insert here. But yeah, so Night Owl versus Valak. What are they doing? I don't know. Let's see. Let's
find
pass
out.
these jars around. Here you go.
Ooh. You hear that squeaky shoe?
Squeaky shoe.
These New Balance have great traction.
The squeak proves it.
And you know what? New Balance not a sponsor, but every time I show up at the chiropractor and he sees my New Balance, he's like, "Dude, yes, keep
It's the way
wearing
to
them."
go. That or Nike. I love Nike, too.
Too slim for my foot. Got a wide
They are
foot.
slim. They hurt my foot, too.
Welcome back to Shoe Talk.
You know, I have a pretty wide foot. Maybe you guys have a wider foot than I do.
I break all my.
You definitely don't have wider heads than you do.
We'll upload some foot measurement information and very detailed pictures of our feet on the Instagram. Just check out at Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Uninformed movie reviews, only fans for feet.
Yes.
Only feet.
Our first predict: who is more likely to commit corporate espionage and disqualify themselves from the Wonka Grand Prize? This is a great predict.
Oh, this is a good one. It's also another great movie business or business from a movie.
Hey, workplace.
Okay, I
So
mean,
I don't know much about Night Owl. Everything I know about Watchmen, I know from references on this and past shows.
And also, Valak's like a nun, so who could he be spying?
Well, Valak's
for?
a demon.
He's
yeah,
a demon.
like I feel like Valak wouldn't get the chocolate. I feel like Valak
He'd
wouldn't.
be quite naughty.
Valak wouldn't get the chocolate, but not because of their corporate. I don't know what this demon's pronoun is, so I'm just going to say they.
Wow, how dare you assume?
Their. Well, I'm not assuming. That's the opposite of what I'm doing. So they wouldn't do it like for corporate interests for somebody else. It would be
to eat souls.
Yeah, to eat souls, their own interests. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be for corporate espionage even.
Corporate.
I know what I did. My eye was sloppy. It was floating around in there.
Okay, so
I love a late night podcast because I already can't talk, and it just gets so much worse. And I'm pretty sure I just said broadcast.
you did just say. Oh man.
We need to do like a Frank glossary one day, and like
gosh.
what I actually meant.
Just on the video editing, just show it on the screen.
I don't know if I have enough time to do all those. There's so
Would be
many.
a lot.
So Night Owl, I mean, Night Owl's one of the honest Watchmen.
Okay.
You know,
he's Batman.
He's
So
a bit
what
of
you're
a
telling me? There's
coward.
some dishonest Watchmen.
Yeah, there's some Watchmen who would commit
Rorschach.
the corporate espionage.
Probably the comedian.
Nah, Rorschach wouldn't. He's uncompromisingly a good guy.
No, he's
know what I
willing to bend the rules to like. I mean, he's not a virtuously good guy. Why are we talking about Rorschach though? He's not even.
Hey, we're talking about Watchmen now. Okay, look,
Welcome back to
Rorschach's-
ACC.
Rorschach's not going to break the rules unless it involves how he's going to punish someone.
Ooh, I like that.
He
Yeah.
is a sadist.
Yeah, he
for
is.
sure.
Okay, I can get into that.
Rorschach is the coward of Watchmen, but he's not,
He's the one whose
conniving.
face is all like bleh, like a
Yeah.
Rorschach
A
test,
Rorschach.
right?
Wait, did I say Rorschach again?
Are we
gonna
talking
say
the comedian?
Night Owl.
I'm going to
is the
say
coward.
Night Owl's
Okay.
the coward.
Oh.
Wow, what a chump.
Or-
I was like, Rorschach's not a coward.
no. The comedian definitely, or the Night Owl definitely is. Dan Dryberg, he's the coward.
Well, if anyone would, it would be Ozymandias.
Yeah, Ozymandias would. A comedian would if the money was right.
For sure.
Silk Spectre might. I don't know. Who knows?
So you're saying he's too chicken?
He's chicken, but
He's
he's
too
also
owl.
he's a goody two shoes.
Yeah.
He's not going to break the rules, but he's also
He's a Boy Scout.
he's not going to put himself out there either. Neither one of the possible reasons for committing corporate espionage. And by corporate espionage, we mean stealing an everlasting gobstopper.
Yes, that is the goal.
For who's the opposing?
Valak, the nun.
Well, no, but who's the opposing Candyman?
His name is Robert Paulson. No, God, what's his name? Chester Copperpot.
It's his gold.
I don't remember his name.
Slugworth.
Slugworth.
Yeah.
It's like Stallworth. No, that's wrong too.
So what are we going to do with this?
Sitwell.
I mean, probably the Valak explanation
Valak?
seems
Yeah,
to be
you know
the most
what? It's
valid.
the only one with if Valak found a good enough reason
Yeah.
to commit
Like,
this corporate espionage.
Maybe he would steal it for the devil.
Yeah,
that too.
true.
You can also say that like it's candy is food for the soul, and if anything, he's enriching those souls before he steals them and takes them to hell.
And if hell's anything like it's depicted in Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, shout out to Henry Zabrowski again. Hell is like a corporate entity.
Definitely.
I agree. Sorry. Henry's right. It sounds like
man.
you're trying to like whisper something in a movie. You know how that goes.
That's getting an
I
edit.
sound like the bad guys cursing in Home Alone.
Yeah.
That's just how I talk.
Yeah. That would not be those guys' reactions.
Yeah. I had a bang today, but it was many hours ago.
So
So Valak round one?
Yeah, Valak proceeds to the next.
Yes.
And our next predicament would be, who would be more likely to successfully stage a coup d'etat? I mean, Valak, right?
I guess, yeah.
Against Gooms?
No,
No,
against,
against
Night
Night
Owl.
Owl.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
We're in the semifinals currently.
I'm confused about how much Valak can plan things out.
he doesn't seem to have. He seems to have influence over like a very small amount of people.
Danny.
They seem to have a very strong influence over a very certain amount of people, rather than Night Owl, who arguably has more influence over more people.
What does Night Owl do? What's his whole like spiel? What are his
He's
powers?
like the leader of the Watchmen. He's the whip.
He's not the leader of the Watchmen.
No. But he
think so.
definitely is like the paragon of the
Yeah,
Watchmen.
that's
you know
true.
What I mean?
Definitely the Paragon of the Watchmen. Night Owl. He's got the parents who are dead, who are rich. He's got.
He's Batman.
He's Batman.
He's Batman.
telling me he's
he lives in a
Batman.
Yeah.
cave.
But he's not like grimy like Batman. He's like if Superman and Batman were like the same character in the Justice League, which is the Watchmen.
Sounds pretty lame,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
He's pretty lame. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he would do this. And if anything, probably maybe one of the only Watchmen who wouldn't
Okay.
be coup d'etat, so to speak.
There definitely is a coup d'etat.
Yeah, there is one in Watchmen, but it's not by Night Owl.
All right.
If anything, he's like.
So I think
"Oh."
that's pretty strong evidence against Night Owl.
Yeah, I think we gotta go Valak.
Yeah.
in
It's
this
just
case.
not in his character, yeah.
Yeah. Although to be fair, Valak has no character.
But I mean, Valak, much like America, might be staging this coup d'etat to forego
Further an
to
agenda.
like further an agenda. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Spreading that chaos.
Makes enough sense for me.
I
Might
can see it
could.
happen.
Okay, so now we have Valak against Burt Gummer.
Good luck, Valak.
Yeah, nothing can take that guy down.
Who can haunt better?
Not even a 80-foot worm.
Who's more likely to be a demon?
Who can wear
Well-
the nun habit better?
Oh, Gummer would.
That's true. He could wear a habit.
Oh wow. Okay. Who is more likely to freak the out on acid?
That was mine.
Wow.
I feel like Valak could probably
Wait, what
handle
is
that.
this a reference to?
I don't know.
This is just from the.
Yeah.
Just a situation.
That is just a
Wow.
predict. Yeah, quite a predict, really.
I feel like Valak that'd be incredibly dangerous. Like that should have been
A
Conjuring
demon
3.
on acid?
That'd have been a more interesting Conjuring 3. Like it's
The devil made me do it.
devil made me do it exactly. No, that changed the name.
Yeah, that's really what the devil made me do. It was missing some acid, just like an acid freak out.
Whoa.
But I feel like
You wouldn't steal a house.
demon might not even feel it. It'd be like having an energy drink or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, I feel like he doesn't have like the They don't have the neuroreceptors.
well, I was very respectful of you, Danny.
Well-
Yeah, you know.
They have some kind of neuroreceptor, right? Don't they feel pain?
Demons?
Do they? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think they.
Doesn't he
They
wince
like
in pain at
inflicting
the end
pain.
of Conjuring 2?
Well, no, it's like it's not the demon feeling pain, but it's the host feeling the pain that the demon is like
So then-
inside.
They could have an acid trip.
Can they?
No, the host would have the acid trip.
I guess, but when the demon, like when Valak is being banished to hell, he's got expression on they've got an expression on their face that would make you think.
I was like, what the hell are you talking
They've
about?
got an
dude?
expression on their face that they are experiencing, what's going on. You know what I mean? They feel.
No, but I don't think that's pain. I think that's like, you damn kids and
You've
your
done it
dog.
again.
Yeah.
Dang Jesus.
I mean, that's a pretty good point.
Yeah. But what I'm gathering from Night Owl, this goody two shoes.
We're talking about Burt Gummer now.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Burt Gummer, but also Burt Gummer, like this conservative entity. You know what I mean? Who's all about survival. I doubt Burt Gummer's like ever done a psychoactive substance in his life.
He probably just sticks to beer.
And he's also like seen some stuff, man.
Did he fight in Vietnam, though? That's a question.
He
to
might
ask.
have. I don't know if his
I
character
don't think they
has.
ever mention it.
Mention him being a vet.
No,
They definitely would have if he was.
they would have. Unless he was like special ops. Those guys don't talk about nothing. You know what I mean? Except for the ones who get like book deals and stuff. What are you
Except for
gonna
the
do?
ones who talk a lot about.
Yeah, who just talk way too much.
I mean, I feel like it has to be Gummer then.
I feel like
There's no other
Gummer
choice.
would
He's a-
super freak out.
He's a human.
Yeah, he's a human. He's got that like the hurt from the divorce. He's seen a ton of his friends get murdered in terrible ways. He's been inside a graboid.
In the Tremors wiki, although it is not explicitly said, it is heavenly.
Heavenly.
It's heavily implied that he is a veteran from some sort of military.
I don't know if I trust this wiki. What What do they mean by heavily abused? He just has a lot of guns. It's the mustache. That's what's doing the implication.
It's the mustache.
The mustache is
The implication.
The mustache and the grit.
Yeah. Well, and he's always got seems like a bunch of standard issue army stuff. Like he's got
Surplus
his,
stuff too.
And he's got
Surplus
a really big knowledge of explosives. It's just not something that's easy to come by.
Yeah.
Well, you can come by it pretty easily, but you will be on an FBI watch list.
Yeah, you can't search that stuff.
Yep.
Use DuckDuckGo. Not a sponsor, but hit us up.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess
Burt Gummer, reigning champ forever and ever.
he's around another week.
Dang. Nothing takes down the Gooms.
No.
Not even
Not
the
demons.
demons.
Not even demon.
Not even demons. Not even gender ambiguous demons. My brain got so stuck. I was like, what joke was I trying to make?
We talking about the Babadook now? What's going on here?
Babadook.
Are we shipping some
I'm
demons?
pretty sure Babadook identifies as a he, him, because it's Mr.
so?
Babadook.
Oh, true.
Good point.
Ba-ba-ba.